chords.
Okay. Miranda, please hand me the book.
G sharp minor.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Oh, great. There we go. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Nice to see you all out there. I see some new faces. Welcome. My name is Reverend Michael McMorrow. There you are, Reverend Michael McMorrow. I'm the spiritual director here at our Center for Spiritual Living, where we honor all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. And just to push your buttons right out of the gate, we have a little practice called hugs and handshakes. So let's just take a moment, meet and greet each other, and say good morning. Good morning, Chloe.
I always want to do the Yosemite Sam.
Stop all that loving out there. Take your seats. Yes, well, we are the Center for Spiritual Loving, in case you didn't know.
That's usually best.
All right, so please help me welcome our assistant minister to the platform, Reverend Nancy Woods. Always good to have her up here. And we're going to take a deep conscious breath. Release, just allowing the breath to anchor us in this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. The third candle we light for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. The 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we are holding for them here at our center. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only
as I realize that I am surrounded by this love, as it pours forth through each and every individualization of spirit, I'm grateful to be in this energy, in this time, in this place, to be able to share the awareness that spirit is all that there is, to step into a understanding and acceptance that we have been brought together for a higher purpose. And that purpose I recognize in this moment is to be here and to be a representation of spirit itself. That's all, just to be the spiritual presence of life. For it is always this consciousness of knowing this truth, that God is all that there is, that the infinite intelligence is forever expressing in and through all of us, that we have gathered here to embrace it in a greater way and more expansive understanding of utilizing it to express and to manifest and to give, to receive, to experience the wonder of life itself. And as we accept that this is what we are doing, we rejoice because we know that we are being fulfilled in that which we are reaching for. So as we know that our greater good comes from wherever we are and however we are living, we can just relax into knowing and accepting that this is a divine hour in every life, a divine hour in which we are given to each other in every way. So as we allow this infinite intelligence to come forth into expression, we accept and allow it to be, knowing this is who and what we are. True recognition that I am that I am. This we accept and embrace together. And I welcome each and every one of you, each individualization, to unite with me in knowing that this is the truth for us in many ways. And we do so by saying, and so it is. Good morning. We are experiencing kind of a fun time in this class I'm in right now. It's talking about spirit and its presence. And actually, it's kind of nice because the guy that wrote the book was my first teacher. And I begin to remember some of the things that he taught me that I had forgotten. And it's kind of nice. And one of the things I recognized this week, because last week, Reverend Mike told us to look at the debate, the election debate, and see where our consciousness was. And this was an adventure for me because I haven't watched one in ages. So I wanted to see what it was like, what the experience was like to sit there and watch it. Because I realized that this is a growth process and that we want to see where we are sometimes. So I found myself able to watch it from a nice place for a little while. And it seems like everybody was saying some nice things. I said, oh, you can hear nice things here. And then after a while, I found myself disagreeing. And then after I disagreed, the energy began to drain down. And I said, uh-oh, it's time to quit. Because what I recognize is that when you enter philosophy like this, it is a process of growth and expansion. And sometimes you can grow into the awareness where you can be in a place that, one of the things that I remember that Dr. Barker used to say, he said he'd read the newspaper, he looked at the news, and then he closed it up and say, not a word of it is true. And he would tell his mind that. And that was how he would handle it. So I realized that I'm not quite there. So I'm still at the place that I kind of keep away from the things that's going to pull me in that direction. And what I also realize is that as I recognize that in me, I have to recognize that in everybody else. So those people that I feel like I'm getting ready to judge, they're out there trying to be, this is an adventure. This is life. And one of the reasons why I can appreciate all these different philosophies, they have gems that are, I don't know how to describe it. They're just good gems for you to live, for us to live by. But I also don't know that each one is on their path. All of us, we're on our path. And that experience, if I see that in myself, then I have to allow them to be on their path and know that everybody, everywhere, is an individualization of one thing. That means they are the same as me. So any judgment I have of them is a result of my own processes. Oh, and sometimes that is not easy to accept, but it's a truth that I recognize. And it allows me to experience things sometimes more open-minded than I ever. And I really appreciate that I have grown to the point where I can appreciate every spiritual philosophy up here. I mean, I can really find beautiful nuggets in all of them. So I did come some ways, and I know that there is still a ways to go. The perfection of spirit is an ongoing process, and I'm willing to accept that today. I'm willing to understand that that's part of this journey. I am especially grateful that each and every one of you are sharing this journey with me, because y'all are nuggets that are very nice to be immersed around. And I'm grateful for that. And so I thank you for allowing me to share it and for sharing this with me.
Hi, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good. Nice to see you. So we're kicking off Rocktober, for those of you that know what Rocktober is. And we're going to start relatively quiet until until we get louder and louder to the end of the month. We've got drums and the whole band, the last couple. But today, please welcome Kale on percussion. Yeah, Kale. Erica's playing shaker up here in the front. Yeah, Erica. The Reverend Mike McJagger is playing lead guitar over here. Our two special guest singers that I couldn't, when Reverend Mike gave me this song, I said I'm not going to be able to do it, but these, I couldn't have done it without these two, my two friends. So please welcome Wayne and Brenda.
Ken gave me permission to say, Brenda and I have just been asked to do a Halloween show this year at the Gardenia Club. Some of you have been there in Hollywood. It's going to be on Friday, October 28th. And we'll put a flyer up and stuff. But if you can get over the hill, it's a lot of fun. We know more Halloween songs than anyone.
That's great. It's true. That's awesome. Okie dokie. If you guys know this one, please sing along. One morning I woke up and I knew
that you were gone.
a new day, a new way, and new eyes
To see the dawn.
Go your way, I'll go mine.
And carry on.
The sky is clearing and the night
Has cried enough.
The sun, he come, the world
To soften us.
Rejoice, rejoice, we have no choice.
But to carry on.
The fortunes of fables are able
To sing the song.
Now witness the quickness with which
We get along.
to sing the blues.
You've got to pay the dues and carry on.
Carry on. Love is coming. Love what you see? Lover, can you talk to me? Carry on. Love is coming. Love is coming to us all.
Thank you.
Fantastic, right? Welcome to Rocktober. A great send-off for Rocktober, Mick. Yes.
That's Reverend Mick Jagger.
Yes, Reverend Mick Jagger. Nice job. Very nice. So, welcome. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Fun way to start the morning, yes? I see new faces, so I want to say welcome to those of you who are new and hello to those of you who are not so new. And I really want to send out a special thank you to Ken and Erica and Kale and Angela and Terry and everybody who was a part of the Kirtan series. It was just a wonderful opening of opportunities for expanded awareness in chanting and kirtan. It was fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing that to the center. I know a lot of you made it to some, if not all, of the experiences that we had with kirtan, and it's just been fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I am here to highlight some announcements, which a lot of the things that are happening in this wonderful community are in your program. There's a special sheet that gives you an outline of some of the things that we have going on here. I'm going to highlight some of them, starting with today at 2 to 3:30. Is the Abraham Hicks discussion group, and Mike Carland, who's our sound guy in the back there, and just Mr. Everything, facilitates that for us. So if you're interested in Abraham, come on out and check that out. Tomorrow night, practitioner training begins. The second year of prac training begins. It's going to be fun. And Saturday, October 8th, is the annual Granada Hills Street Fair. So if that is tugging at your heartstrings, please come out and join us. We will have a booth this year. If you want to help out at all, or if you have questions about how you might be able to help out, please see Marlene or give her a call. And there is also a sign-up sheet in Sparks Hall for that if you're interested in coming out and checking that out. Sunday, October 16th, we're going to have a new member. It's going to be New Member Sunday. So if you've signed up to be a member in this wonderful community, and we have done our thorough background check on you and approved you, which is very intense, a very intense process, we're going to honor you. Yes, they're good. We're going to honor you on Sunday, October 16th, so please come out and join us for the second service for that, and then we're going to have cake afterwards in Sparks Hall there, so we'd love to see you there. And Wednesday, October 26th, Reverend Jeannie Hoffman is doing her Okay, I'm hearing a bunch of different things here. Samhain service, which is a Celtic tradition, I believe. Celtic tradition?
Unless you're from Boston, then it would be the Celtic.
Okay. Well, I'm not from Boston, so it's a Celtic tradition. And it's always very, very wonderful. So please come out and join us for that on Wednesday, October 26th at 7 o'clock. And then Sunday, October 23rd and October 30th, I see Margot here. Margot sets up a wonderful Dia de los Muertos ofrenda, where we honor those who have gone before us and put up pictures and mementos. And it's just, Margot, thank you for doing that every year. And I assume you're doing it this year, and it's going to be fantastic. So if you have pictures of loved ones that have passed on to the other side of the veil, bring pictures, bring mementos, and we just decorate this whole stage, and it looks fantastic. But also, remember, yeah, thank you, Margot, for that every year. Are you clapping? Maybe they're clapping for me to shut up already and sit down, as Stephanie said, probably. But I do want to also say that we are now subscribing to smile.amazon.
SmileAmazon.com.
God, come up here, will you please, Brenda, and just take over for me, because I'm just screwing up all over the place.
It's only because
SmileAmazon.com. So does anybody shop on Amazon? Don't be shy. Come on. All right, there. Okay, so does anybody do Christmas shopping on Amazon, maybe? Well, this is a good opportunity for you to do that. And when you sign up for SmileAmazon.com, a little chunk of the money that you spend comes back to the center. So that's a wonderful way to give to your friends by shopping on Amazon, and also give to the center. Yes? So sign up for that. Okay. Just check your program for any other announcements that I didn't remember to say, and thank you for listening. Okay? Thank you.
It's not that she didn't say enough, but at 12 o'clock today, there is a clock that for the community that we have participate and doing, and is it the devotion? Anyway, dedication, and Reverend Mike is the minister that is doing it. So I'm asked, it's today at 12 noon, and it's one block up, and we would like for you to come and join us. They're going to have food, and he is doing the dedication. So come. Yeah, if you look on the corner, there's a nice little pretty new place there, and that. Yards from the liquor store. Okay, so I'm saying come out and join us. So could you stand and let's do the declaration of principles? We believe in one universal spirit, manifesting through all, natural and incarnate in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal too, and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul, forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm with a little no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Here we go. Yeah, I'm only here for God. One more time, yeah. I'm only here for God. Yeah.
All right. Well, I see I'm all mixed up here. I'd hate to skip over a page or two. All right. Yeah, so let's thank the band one more time. And I appreciate that Ken has a lot more confidence in my playing than I do. But this is the guitar I received for my ordination, so it's fun to break it out once in a while. Yeah, so... Yeah, and I just want to underscore, Michael has his Abraham Hicks group this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So if that's something that's been interesting you and you've been wanting to do it because he was gone for a while, the time has been moved up. And the clock is about you, believe it or not. You guys are all stakeholders in this clock that's down the street. And so please, I'm wanting to bring like 20 of us, so it's basically after the second service, right? So if you usually kind of hang out a little bit, we'll just walk down there, and I'm doing the invocation. So I get to, I'm kind of honored and surprised that we're going to have a little prayer to do this whole thing with. And so come check it out. The clock is pretty magnificent, and if you haven't had a chance to walk around and check out that little park area down there, this is, like as I say, each one of us is a stakeholder as a member of our spiritual community. You'll see our name on the plaque. It'll say Center for Spiritual Living. And so, I mean, for posterity, right? Until, some drunk hits it anyway. So, I just had to say that. No, it'll be pretty hard to do. No, it's not a premonition. Cancel. We're going to be talking about the power of thought here after all. So, yeah. And it's not a palm tree, so they'll miss it. All right, so anyway, it's all wrapped up like a Christmas, a low-end Christmas gift, I guess, with craft paper. But come join us. It'll be fun. And so just to check in, it's been a busy week for me. I was out of town this week with 200 of our ministers from Centers for Spiritual Living down at the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living in Encinitas, California, which is a beautiful place. Big center, so when you can see what people with a lot of capacity and imagination and a longtime minister. So Dr. Christian is celebrating 35 years in ministry and is second generation. His parents were religious science ministers as well. So he got a nice push, right? And then he didn't blow it. He built on that. He expanded it, right? That is the creative nature of the universe, is to be expansive. And they have really demonstrated that beautifully, as have our friends in the Self-Realization Fellowship, who have a beautiful place right off of PCH down there. If you ever get a chance to get down there and check that out, it's a beautiful place of peace, of harmony and meditation right by the sea. And I stumbled upon it. So I had read the autobiography of a yogi and had heard about the place, but didn't put the two together until I was driving and went, oh, there it is. And so it was some sweet time spent there. And I too would like to thank not only our singers and Ken and Erica, of course, for providing this wonderful series over the summer and turning our sanctuary into a temple-like atmosphere, and the singing and the intention and everything that went behind that from Erica and Ken and the musicians, of course, but also the people who sponsored the effort. So let's see, Mary Jane Atkins, Margot, the Sperlings, and I think there was Bonnie Reese. So your friends helped sponsor this event, and yes. So thank you for your gift of bringing this forward and exposing our community. So we really are committed to this idea of that the thread of universality, the power, the presence, the intelligence, the love, the light, the beauty, the truth that God is behind all of these demonstrations of faith that we call religion. So it's been a very full week, and then yesterday I got to honor my friend, my childhood friend, Reverend Dwayne Knox, someone who I had known since the 7th grade. When I came to California from Ohio, we were Air Force brats together. Our moms were pregnant together, so we had little brothers together. I had a bunch of them, but we both had little ones. And Dwayne was also a music director for several AME, not A&E, AME churches in the Los Angeles area, his last posting down in Irvine. And I want to tell you, yesterday I was churched. I had no idea that people could do worship service like that. And it was a wonderful tribute to my friend. I felt blessed to be there. I know his family was knocked out by it all. A lot of scripture, like 10 ministers, AME ministers. I mean, this is big. I mean, preaching ministers, and music that agape would aspire to. And agape is pretty darn good. I mean, these guys, out of the house. So they're called Christ Our Redeemer, AME, and I think they do have things on the internet. So you got to, if nothing else, check out their music program. It was really wonderful. And I had enough trouble holding it together before they started doing the music thing, and I just said, to hell with it, and just let it go, man. So I've had an appreciation for not only my roots that I shared with my friend Dwayne, but also an appreciation for ritual that we don't really do much in New Thought per se, even though technically I suppose this is a ritual that helps us center. And it also connected me to how important the Knox family has been in my life, even in ministry. Dwayne was lucky. He and Jesus were walking hand in hand like right away. I was the prodigal, right? So I had to go out and throw seed on the stones and in the brambles and do all the other things that people do when they are seeking and searching, right? And I was raised in a good, solid faith, and I had the gift of faith, but there was a lot to explore out there, and so we had this different paths, but always connected. Always checked in. He was always very supportive, as I was of him. We were secret holders for each other, right? Truth holders and truth knowers for each other, and I'm really going to miss him. The other thing that I realized yesterday, and I would encourage each one of you to think on this also, particularly given the summer that we've had with so much racial strife erupting again. When I would hear stories of a racial, derogatory racial flavor, or even hear anything like that, my touchstone to that was my friend Dwayne. And what would I be able to stand if Dwayne was here? How would I act? And that was a wonderful reminder of me, because I loved Dwayne. We went, and I loved his brothers. We were all running together. We were athletes together. Did that whole thing, and then he's one of the few people I've kept in touch with over the years. So maybe you have a friend like that, an African American friend, a Hispanic friend, an Asian friend that you have had a heart connection with in your life, And it's up to us now. I mean, we're seeing this underbelly exposed once again. Like I kind of thought we were done with it. But people of color have known all along. No, sorry. All right, we're not finished. We can stand in the truth of the revelation of truth of knowing that we are one. That we are one in the Spirit. That we all bleed the same blood. Right? That we all love, that we all learn, that we all respect, that we are all have the potential of being magnificent expressions of the divine just as we are. Just as we are. And this is the great calling for us. It really is the great calling. And we're doing this in this teaching, and why I love New Thought so much, and in particular religious science, is because it calls me to go deeper here, and deeper here, deeper in my thinking, deeper in my heart connection. And I hate that part because sometimes I cry and I hate to cry. Right? I hate that part. And yet I do. For years I struggled with that, right? I'm too sensitive. No, there's no such thing as being too sensitive. There's no such thing as being too anything except maybe too hateful. Right? So if you can relate to that on any level, just be with it, man. Be with it. All right? If anything else, the Christ called us to be human, to be fully human, and to recognize that we are one with the Father. And these acts and greater shall ye do. That was one of the last things he said. And yet so often we play small with all that stuff, right? And that was the one thing that my friend Dwayne was big, man. He definitely, play big or go home or whatever it is, right? He was a musician, extraordinary musician. He danced. He sang falsetto. We used to make fun of him all the time for doing that. And he did modern dance and all this other stuff that we gave him grief to no end. And he loved us back anyway. So he was a good guy. We're going to miss him. And to see the AME community to show up and support him with their presence and in song is magnificent. So I'm telling you, anytime someone says, I was thinking about going to the AME anywhere, just say yes. It was an amazing experience. But back to what we're doing here. So our first song, of course, was Carry On. I chose that one specifically because many of our songs are going to be this year, are going to have a little taste of the old protest songs from the 60s, just to remind us that we have some important work ahead of us in November. And I don't care which way you go, right? Just show up and do your duty. Do your duty. Regardless of what you think, regardless of whether you think it doesn't count, right? Because really you're saying, I don't count. That's what you're really saying. That's not true. Right? We know what elections can look like. They can come down to a few hundred votes now. Right? So let's be conscious. Let's get with it. Let's carry on. Recognize that love points the way, that the law makes the way possible. Right? So it's more important than ever that we as people in spiritual community know this truth. Know it for ourselves, know it for each other, and know that the work that we do in consciousness in places like this across the country and around the planet are changing and shifting the consciousness of life itself. That people are longing to find places like this to come to express, to explore ideas of spirituality that go beyond the mainstream, right? And maybe even, how about this one? Blossom in their promise of what every mainstream church offers, but is afraid to look at, right? Is afraid to look at the soft spot. I get it. It's a lot easier to say 3 Our Fathers and 3 Hail Marys for peace, right? Rather than it is to go within and recognize, okay, what is happening when I am turning away from the light of Spirit? What's really going on? What is it that I'm trying to distract myself from stepping into a larger playing field of being a conscious person with spiritual practice, willing to engage the intellect from a loving place? How does that change? How does that change the landscape? So, we talk here that we believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual. So I'm going to ask you to just consider what that means for a moment. What does it mean? We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual. The direct revelation. Well, I can tell you, I've been kind of shy about this part, right? I have a nice intellectual understanding of the way the universe works, right? And yet, the soft parts are scary, right? The soft places can be scary. And so my practice, my spiritual practice is really stepping courageously into those areas, right? Because what happens is that direct revelation of truth, it's like hearing it with the door closed. I can open the door. I could open the door through my spiritual practice by allowing the distractions of the world to fall away. I can knock and I shall enter. And instead, I'm oftentimes on the other side, I'm going, who's there? I know it's good. I know it's good, but who's there? And I'm not going to open the door until I have a complete understanding of who you are and what your intentions are with me. And then I think deep thoughts. And then I wonder, what the heck does it all mean? What is a direct revelation? What must I do to have a direct revelation? Yeah, I want a download, man. I want a spiritual download. I'd like one right now. Like now? Do I have to go somewhere? Do I even want a direct revelation? Think about that for you. Do you want a direct revelation? What would you be like? What would we be like if we had a direct revelation and we knew we were having one? The truth is that we're having them all the time. But how about if we have a conscious one, like in real time? Oh my God, I'm having a direct revelation. We probably aren't going to say that. But our heart is going to quicken. Our palms might get a little sweaty. We might feel a little sweat in the back. And we're going to feel really good and harmonious and at one with the universe in milliseconds. That's what it looks like. What would I do with sacred knowledge? What if I knew I had a secret and you didn't? What kind of guy would I be with that? Would I be arrogant? Or would I be humbled? Humbled by the experience. Who would I be? How would I act? How would my life be different than it is today if I had a conscious, direct revelation of the Holy Spirit, of Brahma, the higher self, higher power, whatever you want to call it. Jesus. Man, I heard a lot of Jesus yesterday. And you know what? I liked it. I liked it. Because the power and the love and the song and the whole experience just melted away all my judgments about my own stuff. Around this wonderful teacher, right? Just like when I come to the kirtan, right? What they're speaking in that weird language, and what is Brahma, and what is kirtan, what's Satnam, and who cares? Just let the vibration and the song. Am I the only one who does this? You just surrender to it, and something opens, something shifts. You feel an expansiveness inside, right? Or go to Friday service at the mosque or in the temple. I've been to all of these things. It's all there, right? It's all there. But I have to open up to it. I have to be willing to know that I don't know, right? For years, I stayed away from prayer because I wanted to have a perfect understanding of God, right? A perfect understanding of God. And I heard this guy last night, and I so related to it that I knew that I wanted to pray every day, but I wasn't going to kneel. I wasn't going to kneel. And so I would go to my bedroom, because I had a roommate. I didn't want to see me kneeling. What would that be? Right? And I would pace in my bedroom because I refused to kneel. Because I wanted to pray to the perfect God. I wanted to have the perfect understanding of God. And then one day it hit me. Dude, you're a human being. You're never going to know that. Right? You're never going to know that. It doesn't matter if you go to your knees to get your attention, to get out of your own head. That's what you do it for. Okay. All right, God. I know it's been a while. And I don't even know if you're really up there. But if you're listening, I don't want to drink today. Right? I don't want to, I want to put life-sustaining food in my body today. I want to not drop F-bombs today. I want to be polite on the freeway today. I want to invite my customers to support me in my business generously today. I want to invite a loving person into my life that I can share my life with. And I want to be that person for someone else. And then I realized that I had, in hindsight, a direct revelation that I did not have to go any further. I did not have to go to Machu Picchu. I don't have to go to O'Melveny. I don't have to go to Encinitas. That all I really have to do is to be still and know that the Most High is right where I am. That the innermost God and the outermost God is one God. And so what we teach here is that it's all an aspect of mind. And we're not the first ones to ponder these things, right? The ancient Hebrews, David, seek the Lord in his strength, seek his face continually. So we might say, pray without ceasing. When you ask, seek my face, and my heart said to you, your face, O Lord, I shall seek. We have something within us. We are hardwired. If you're sitting here on a Sunday instead of playing golf or watching NFL, you are hardwired to seek the face of Spirit, to invite a direct revelation of truth. Same thing. Same thing. To have a direct revelation of the glory of the Creator in the outer realm. Has anyone had a meditation experience where it felt like there was that much room in here? Right? That there's something more than this meat bag. That, we go within and it's like it feels expansive, yes? And if you haven't had that experience, just sit with it. I invite you, just sit with it. Give yourself 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. And so Holmes talks about, this is how we can get into the separation idea, that it's impossible to plumb the depths of the individual mind because the individual mind is not really individual, but individualized. So imagine yourself right now, and I know you know where the warts are. I know you don't think you measure up in some way. I know that you have a list of where you should have zigged instead of zagged. Right? But right where you are, right where I stand, God is. And that right now, the voice of Spirit is speaking to the heart of Spirit and the mind of Spirit, sitting exactly where each one of you is. That's pretty wild. So now, how do I accept that? I got to drop all my perceptions, all my judgments about that possibility. That if I recognize and know that the one mind of Spirit is within the hearts of all beings, that means it's within me. And that as I know this truth for myself, I know it for others. That it's not about going around, well, let me tell you how God works. Because I know. It's not about that. I mean, think about people whom you have been around who really transmit. Right? There's a transmission. There's a vibration. Right? Think about the times that, now this is going to be a courageous idea. Consider the times where you have been that. Where you have been that. Where your kids have come to you with some crazy nonsense, and instead of going, right, you just centered in and knew that it was all perfect, that it's all good because it's all God. In spite of debates, in spite of the internet, in spite of smartphones, and anything else that tries to pull our attention away. So, and then to know, as the ancients know, that to everything there is a season. A time to live, a time to die, a time to reap, a time to sow. So what is it we are reaping? Right? What is it we are knowing about the world today? So this week, let's call our musicians up. So this week, as we go about, in fact, let's just start with today. Let's keep holy this Sabbath day. Keep this energy going about paying attention to what it is that we think. What is it that we are putting out there? Right? And so thought by thought, we set the intention to shift and lift our thinking into knowing that there is a greater truth longing to express itself in spite of the outer condition, even if it's good stuff. Right? That we want to work from good to greater good. And so we explore that today. We explore that notion today. We step into knowing it and seeing it and recognizing it. And seeing it within ourselves and within our fellows. And let's check in with each other next week. See how we did.
A season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. Every season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven.
All right, let's give him a little more, huh? What do you say? Thank you. Nice percussioning. Yes. All right, so as we prepare our gifts for the offering, let's call our ushers forward, please, as Ken takes us into our little offering chant.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so grateful. I am so So just going within for a moment longer, just recognizing and knowing that the gifts presented here this morning are a demonstration of consciousness that knows and knows that it knows that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And so from the generous heart of the individual from which these gifts have been offered, we, as representing the heart of this community, accept these gifts with deep appreciation, respect, and love, as we know together they go forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. The vision and mission of each person here this morning, the vision and mission of this center, and anyone connected to it in any way. That we know this blessing extends to include our friends in this community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, for our planet as well. That we know that all of it is an expression of the one mind of God. And to the extent that we allow this to be a direct revelation of truth, we see it demonstrating in all ways, great and small. That allows us to feel a sense of grace that empowers us into ways of spiritual living that lift ourselves and others. We are grateful. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. So how we doing, kids? Good, good. Do we have a spokesperson today? All right. Man, you grew.
Yeah. Well,
What? Are you eating Miracle Grow these days or what?
I'm a plant. Okay, so today we did an activity where we would get a piece of paper and there would be a match for each person. So everyone would ask yes or no questions to find out who had their paper. And then once we got that, the person's partner would interview each other. And I got Lisa. So her worst nightmare is to disappear and no one misses her. Her best joy is sharing with others. Her age is 56 years old, although I don't think she looks that old, so.
Atta girl.
Her most embarrassing moment is when her rearview mirror fell off in front of an officer. Her favorite movie is Amy. Her favorite color is orange and purple. Her least favorite color is brown, and her gender is female.
Thank you very much. Orange and purple. Does that make you a Broncos fan or what? No? Hi, Charlene. How you been?
I'm good. How are
The
you?
kids are looking good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting big.
Yeah.
They grow every day. So with the little ones, we did pumpkins, and then we did the qualities of God on each part of the pumpkin.
Yeah, these are cool. You know what? I don't have my glasses.
All
What do they
right,
say?
so I'll read this one. This one was yes. And it said, for light, she wrote night light. For joy, she wrote play. For power, she wrote my heart. And then love is my dog. Beauty is flowers. Life is nature. Peace is deep breath. And that was it.
Yeah. Isn't that pretty cool, huh? You know, I always feel like I should have just had you bring the kids in here and we could have saved about 30 minutes. That'd been good, yeah? All right, so let's thank the band one more time. Invite Reverend Nancy up. Thank you all for being here. Again, you know, we're running a little bit late, so let's just stick around and wander down to the new clock. It's pretty cool. It's 16 foot tall. It's like the real deal. Come check it out.
So as the practitioners circle this room in love, join us in knowing that we do recognize that we are the individualization of spirit, and we accept that this journey that we're on is one about knowing that that inner truth is always waiting to reveal itself to us. And we accept as we go forth to open our hearts and mind to hear it, to experience it, and to express it. So it's with great joy we are grateful to have recognized this truth at this point in time. So we join together in a consciousness of gratitude as we say, and so it is.
Everyone, please stand for the peace song.